Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to do the comparison of two mid-range phones, the Lenovo ZUK Z1 with the Moto G4 Plus. So these two phones are priced below the 15k price point in India, and both have completely different specifications. The processor, a lot of things vary, even the software is different. So we'll do a detailed comparison of these two phones. So first step, let's have a quick look at the specifications offered by these two phones. So first step, the Lenovo ZUK Z1, which comes with a CyanogenOS of 12.1 with Android 5.1.1 Lollipop. It has a full HD display, that's a 5.5 inch full HD display, and it's powered by the Snapdragon 801 chipset with 3 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. And this also comes with a 13 megapixel rear camera, dual LED flash. There is also front facing 8 megapixel camera, a fingerprint scanner, and a 4100 milliamp hour battery. So that is the spec aspect of the ZUK Z1. Now talking about the Moto G4 Plus. So this was announced a couple of days back in India, and this comes with upgraded specs when compared to the previous generation Motorola. And this has 5.5 inch full HD display, and this is powered by the Snapdragon 617 octa-core chipset coupled with 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage. And this also has a 16 megapixel rear camera, dual LED flash, front facing 5 megapixel camera, Android 6.0 Marshmallow, and a 3000 mAh battery with turbocharging. So that is the specifications of these two phones. Now let's go into the detailed aspects. So first step, let's see the design and build quality. So design wise, there's a clear difference between these two devices. So while Lenovo ZUK Z1 comes with a metallic chassis, it's all plastic finishing on the Moto G4 Plus. So if you're looking for a premium device, obviously the better choice is ZUK Z1 with much better premium finishing. It looks like metal, although it's not a metallic finishing on the rear panel, and you can see it is metallic construction. The chassis is metallic, but on the other hand, it's all plastic body on the Moto G4 Plus, and doesn't give a really premium feel overall, but it does have some good build quality in this segment. And one important aspect about the design is that while the Moto G4 Plus is all plastic, it's a lot lightweight than the ZUK Z1. So if you're looking for a lightweight device, the Moto G4 Plus should be a choice, because it's a lot lighter than the ZUK Z1 because it's made of plastic. But overall design and build quality, we would say it's a ZUK Z1 which offers a premium finishing and looks as well. Now moving on to the display. Now both the phones offer full HD panel, that's a 1080p panel, and the display quality looks very good. Now both these devices offer pretty good viewing angles. The touch response is also pretty good. Now the brightness levels are slightly better on the ZUK Z1, and also the contrast ratios look slightly better on the ZUK Z1. But Moto G4 Plus is not far behind. We would say the display quality looks really good. The touch response is again pretty smooth. Overall the quality on both the devices are really good. There's not much to choose in terms of the display, but then ZUK Z1 does have an advantage in the display aspect. Now moving on to the software and performance. Now here the Moto G4 Plus has an advantage because it runs the latest OS, the Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow, while the ZUK Z1 has the only Android 5.1.1 Lollipop. But if you're looking for customization, then the ZUK Z1 offers additional options. You can see the CyanogenOS, which comes with a customized UI. We have a theme center to download additional themes and customize your phone. You can also make the navigational buttons on screen from the physical button. So there are lots of features offered by CyanogenOS, and this also you can see that the UI is completely tweaked and a lot of options available. Additional tools are available, gestures are supported. So if you're looking for a much better OS in terms of the features, not the latest OS, but in terms of the features, then the CyanogenOS 12.1 offers a lot of additional tools. Now talking about the software on the Moto G4 Plus, this is the stock like experience. You don't have any additional apps installed. It's very basic UI. It's the stock experience. You don't have any customization options other than the wallpapers. So very basic UI, but then UI is much more optimized since it has more or less stock UI, and works pretty well as well. So here in terms of the software, we would say it's up to the user. If you want the latest software, obviously the Moto G4 Plus is the choice here, because it also will be getting the Android N whenever it's released. But we can't really guarantee that about the ZUK Z1, because it first has to get the Marshmallow update, which is slated for release in a couple of months time. So only after that we can actually think about Android N. So our choice in terms of the software would be the Moto G4 Plus, because it will be getting the latest software. But then if you're looking for customization options, then the ZUK Z1 is a better option. Now talking about the performance, the ZUK Z1 is powered by the Snapdragon 801 chipset. It's a pretty old chipset, almost 2 years old, but it's really one of the powerful chipsets. It's clocked at 2.2 GHz. It comes with 3 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. There's no micro SD card expansion slot. On the other hand, the Moto G4 Plus comes with Snapdragon 617 octa-core chipset. It's a mid-range processor, and it is coupled with 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage. We are testing the higher end variant of the Moto G4 Plus. Now the performance wise, here the clear winner is the Snapdragon 801 powered ZUK Z1 with overall great performance, no issues with gaming. There's no lagging as well. Heating is also very less, while on the other hand Moto G4 Plus has this slight heating issue. The temperature rose to 44 degrees in our testing. And another issue we faced with this device is that prolonged use of camera, almost 20 to 25 minutes. The heating was pretty higher and the camera was unusable for quite some time. So those kind of issues are not available, not present on the ZUK Z1. So in terms of the performance, we would say the clear winner is the ZUK Z1, which has this powerful 801 chipset. Now both these phones come with 4G LTE capabilities. You have an expansion slot on the Moto G4 Plus, but on ZUK Z1 you don't really have to worry about a micro SD card, because it has 64 gigs of internal storage. That should satisfy most of the users. So that was the software and performance side. Now let's move on to the camera. Now both these phones come with pretty good cameras. In this segment we have a 13 megapixel shooter on the ZUK Z1 with dual LED flash, optical image stabilization, and a front facing 8 megapixel camera. While on the other hand the Moto G4 Plus comes with a 16 megapixel shooter, laser autofocus along with face detection autofocus, dual LED flash, and a front facing 5 megapixel camera. Now the camera interface is quite different on both these devices. If you're looking for a simple interface, then the Moto G4 Plus is slightly more simple in nature, while the ZUK Z1 also offers decent interface. Quite a lot of features are also included. Now talking about the camera comparison or the camera performance, it's a tough choice between these two devices. We already done a detailed camera comparison of these two phones, and we can clearly see that it's a tough call between these two devices. Both have really great quality. The color quality looks really good, and sharpness levels are slightly better on the ZUK Z1, but Moto G4 Plus is not far behind. It also has, it's a really good performing camera. Now the low light performance is slightly better on the Moto G4 Plus, and video recording is again good on both these devices. So camera, we can't really choose a winner. We would leave it to our readers to decide which is a better camera to buy here. Now the front facing camera, both are really good again. 8 megapixel camera on the ZUK Z1, while it's the 5 megapixel shooter on the Moto G4 Plus. So that was the camera aspect. Now let's move on to the battery. Now here we have a clear winner. The ZUK Z1 comes with a 4100 mAh battery, while it's 3000 mAh on the Moto G4 Plus. And with ZUK Z1 you can get at least 1.5 days of usage easily, while on the Moto G4 Plus it's not bad. For the capacity you can get 1 day of usage with average moderate to heavy usage. Now both these phones come with quick charging. The Moto G4 Plus has turbo charging, while the Lenovo ZUK Z1 has quick charging also integrated. So both these devices are overall really good in terms of the overall features being offered. So which is better value for money? Now we'll talk about the pros and cons of these two phones. Now the ZUK Z1 has a really good finishing. The good design also looks good. And the performance is really one of the great aspects about this device. The camera is good, battery life is stunning, plenty of storage, 64 gigabyte. Now the cons of this device is slightly older processor, and software updates are not really assured. It may not get the Android N update. That's not guaranteed. So that's one of the issues with this device. Now talking about the Moto G4 Plus, it has good software, the latest software, a good camera, decent performance, but again there is a heating issue. That's one of the issues, and overall great value for money aspect. The performance and software looks quite decent overall. Now which is better value for money device? If you're looking for a better value for money device, then obviously our choice would be the Lenovo ZUK Z1. But if software is your priority and you want the latest updates, then we would suggest you to choose the Moto G4 Plus. Now both these phones have a front facing fingerprint scanner. You can see the fingerprint scanner located on the front panel, and they are quite good in terms of the performance, and both can unlock the device in pretty good time. So we have compared both these devices, and even if you're looking for value for money aspect, there is a 1.5k difference between these two devices. So our choice in this comparison, unless you are really particular about the software, we would give it to the Lenovo's ZUK Z1 in terms of the overall performance and value for money aspect. So that was the detailed comparison of the ZUK Z1 with the Moto G4 Plus. Hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, drop in a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with the queries. Don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.